I'm really excited to introduce you guys. I know you guys all know Jena, but I'm so excited for her to share. I want to share a little bit about Jena because you guys know her as the amazing Jena that she is. And when Jena got started, how many years have you been with the company now, Jena? Unmute yourself.
Way too many, like over 10, probably.
10, perfect, a decade. It's awesome. She's ready for cruising.
Yeah.
When we first met Jena, she had just gotten married. She hadn't had any kids. She lived in this cute little loft down in the DTC area. She had cute pink stuff because she had no kids, and it was all fabulous and really fun. And then she got pregnant and had her first son. And so glad that she got to have all of her babies with JenaPlatt. But when Jena first came on, she had this big executive job at a really fancy magazine here in Denver. And so she didn't quite get the mission. She kind of got it. But as she started having kids, I remember telling her sponsor, be patient, because as she starts to have kids, she's really going to want to maybe have some options to be able to raise her own children. And that's what happened. So then along came number 2, and then along came number 3 and 4 at the same time. So she's got a crazy household. She's got 4 little boys. They're all just absolutely gorgeous. And she also has this she has this other crazy dog that's now better, but then she got a puppy at the same time, and I thought she was nuts. Yeah. And it's this huge dog that throws itself at the screen door, the sliding door when you're having events because it wants in. So she's got a lot to juggle in life at her house with 4 boys that are very active. Is really crazy, and I'm really proud of her because she still manages to share the mission. She's growing a beautiful team. She has a passion for helping people. She's got a wonderful, wonderful customer base. And I just asked her to share tonight how she does it in all of that craziness and how it still works. Because I think sometimes we all think, oh, we're too busy. We have too many jobs or not enough time. We hear that all the time. And she's just the perfect example of somebody that said, you know what, I can build this within my life and take it right alongside all of the craziness. So with that, Jena, thank you so much. I'm turning it over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Reagan. That's very true. We have all these people over here. And my husband is, I have to preface this, he's at a work dinner tonight. He just got pulled away like at 4:30. And so the babies are already in their cribs, and I have threatened the other boys within inches of their lives. So if they come in, I apologize. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Just to kind of, is that right? Can you guys see anything? You. Nothing?
Not yet.
Okay, hang on. Just like that. All right, here we go. All right, how's that?
Yep.
Okay.
But we see nothing on your screen.
You see nothing?
Oh, yeah, we do. There you go.
Okay, I'm just gonna share this for just a second. Okay, so I was talking about building amid chaos, and I went down to my basement this morning, and this is what it looked like. So this is what chaos is to me. And so just to introduce you to my chaos, because I know everybody's looks a little bit different, but we all live in our own chaos, whether it's our full-time job or our families or both. So this is my husband. This is my 8-year-old Riv. This is our 4-year-old Everett. This is one of the twins, Dane. He just turned 2. This is the other guy, Dawson. Our 150-pound puppy, Murdoch, who, hello. And then our grumpy old lady, Lola. And then just a few of the 8 fish we inherited when we moved into our new house. So life has been super hectic just for, the past summer especially. And so, hang on one second. Okay, good.
No, I figured out to trap it immediately.
Okay. Sorry, I told you. Okay, so hopefully my screen's not shared anymore, right? Okay. Okay, so in the midst of the chaos, how do you take control? And, for a long time, I let the chaos get in the way, and I would find that I would dabble in my business when I had true time, when I had a true chunk of time to do it. And, that wasn't often. Okay, so, oh, sorry, things are popping up all over the place over here. So that doesn't really have to be the case anymore. And I found that, it takes a new level of organization and commitment. And like I said, for so long, I've been trying to do this business just by flying by the seat of my pants and, doing things here and there and plugging in when I had the time. But this summer, even with everyone at home, I said to myself, I have to make a commitment to consistently put events on my calendar, to have something to invite to. I'm tired of just kind of flying willy-nilly with my business. And I knew that I needed to kind of get down to the nitty-gritty. And so my number one goal this summer has been to have better consistency with events. My team and we did 3 live events in June, 3 in July, and then my team have done several of their own events. And so, like I said, it's not rocket science. And I don't know what took me so long, but once you're consistent, your team will see that and they will be too. So second, I've made the commitment to myself to get over what I think everyone else is thinking of me, because I know that 99.9% of the time, no one is taking my invitation, my introduction to the product or the business the way I'm perceiving it. And if we have the other person's goodwill in mind, then suggesting the business or the product will come across as if you're truly helping, because you are. We all obviously don't have tons of times in our life to second guess what we're going to say or how we're going to approach someone. Sorry, I don't know what's happening. It's over here in my computer, of course. But if we do that, if we start to second guess, we'll never get anything done. So I used to go back and forth. Gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you can see what's happening over here, but
no, Jena, we can't see anything. We just hear you.
Things are just popping up all over the place. Okay, so I was saying I used to go back and forth often about, how I should approach this person or the right thing I would say to another person. And so now time is obviously of the essence. And so my goal is to just try to speak from my heart and do what we've been trained to do, what Reagan has said to us 1,000 times. And that's, to find the other person's pain or the reason why the product or business would make sense to them, and then share it with confidence and conviction. And I used to be afraid if I were to share this that people would be offended. Like, what would they think of me? And so none of us here on this call have been offended because someone shared with us, right? No. And we're here and we're better for it. So we all have limiting beliefs. But what I love about this business is that it challenges us to look beyond them and, step out of our comfort zone and be bold and brave to help as many people as we can while we're helping ourselves. So the more we do it, the easier this becomes. And I found that this summer, and it's a really good feeling to not really care what people are going to say or what they're going to think. And I guess it only took me having 4 kids to get there. So the third thing is I try to ask myself, what am I going to do? What am I going to do daily? How am I going to touch my business today? So for the past few months before I go to bed, I've been writing down the 3 things that I'm going to accomplish the next day. So when I'm running everyone here or there and I'm in the car and things are kind of getting a little busy and crazy, I at least know who I'm going to speak to or what I'm going to do in those short intervals of time that I have. And then when I am sharing, I'm sharing what I know and I'm being authentic. And so what I think we should all ask ourselves is, what does your daily method of operation look like? And so for the last few months, like I said, mine is to have at least 2 events to build for each month. I'm trying to talk to 2 new people a day. And that's not necessarily talking to people about the product per se. I might just be reaching out to a friend I haven't spoken to in a while, or meeting somebody new at the gym, kind of just to, expand my warm market and kind of build those relationships. And then I'm trying to reach out to 2 people on my list. And I'm going to go back to that in a second. Some other things, depending on the day, can include actually doing the events, prospecting, networking, training, and then personal growth. And I do a lot of listening on Audible and do a lot of that podcast training and stuff that Reagan's put together for us while I'm cleaning or driving. And I love to do three-way calls. Those have been really great for me so far. So I mentioned our list. We were told back when we first started our businesses that we needed to build a list and that we should be constantly adding to it. So I was thinking maybe I'd give you guys some homework over the next couple days. You know, for some of us, we started our list years ago. I know I have. For others, you might not have taken the time to make one yet. And so over the next couple days, let's take some time to make, rebuild, or refresh our lists. I definitely know that mine could use a little bit of refresher. I have many, many people that I need to add to it. So when you do, if you want to join me in this, just comment on the team page or Voxer to let us know. And that way we can, you know, keep the rest of us accountable to join in and keep our lists growing. So it's very easy to say that we don't have time because of this or that or the other. And that has been my excuse for a long time. Like just having these 4 guys at home, it has truly been busy. But I was reading that book that Reagan suggested that we just talked about, Get Over Your Damn Self. And so she wrote that you make time for everything that is a priority. So this really struck me. So if I were to say, I don't have time to call this person who I know whose son is always sick, or I don't have time to work my business today, what I'm really saying is calling my friend whose son is always sick is not a priority to me, or working my business is not a priority to me. So kind of reframing our thoughts, it was a huge game changer for me. So we've been told this over and over again, but the only thing that we can really control is our activity. So we know this isn't a new concept, but we need to take ownership and actually get to work. And we need to ask ourselves, if someone was duplicating what I'm doing, how big would my business be? This is very, telling for me. And we also need to discover the reasons why we're here, why we want to do this. And some of my reasons are, that I want to help my husband to take some of the financial anxiety away. I want to be able to provide.
Do they still have the pictures on? I can't see them. Okay.
I want to be able to finance my son's extracurricular activities. I'd love to help with our bottom line and, just take that anxiety away because the burden's been really heavy for my husband for these past few years. And so once we all know our why, and once we've discovered our why, maybe we can also work on that this week, kind of writing down reasons that we're here. And then what I think is most important is write down what you'd actually be missing if you don't do all these things to support your why. What would actually happen if we didn't do these things? What would we be missing? So overall, I've just been trying to work harder and smarter with a purpose and a firm reason behind it. We're not going to get it right every time. And so just trying to talk to as many people as I can and not really take their answers personally. There's going to be a lot of no's, a lot of rejection, but there's also going to be a lot of yeses, like we've all experienced. None of us have not personally experienced that. We all know how it feels. And so I think the key for me has been not to take it personally. If we do all these things all the time, we'll teach our team, we'll lead by example, and we'll truly have a plan to work our businesses amid the chaos in our lives. So this is what I mentioned before. I'd love to throw some homework out there if we want to rebuild or refresh our lists. And then maybe try talking to 2 new people a day, just striking up a conversation and inviting people to some of these events that we have upcoming on the calendar. I know there's a lot coming up with the regional and everything. So if we refresh our lists, we can invite from that. Maybe we can all check in later this week, if that sounds good.
So Jena, when you say you're talking to 2 people a week, and I know how busy you are, because you're busy, do you find that it's easier to talk to 2 people as you're running 4 little boys around?
Yeah.
Because it's on in front of your mind?
Exactly. And just the other day I was carrying my Juice Plus water bottle and I had my sweatshirt on and I was at the gym and I had a trainer approach me and she said, I want to do this. I started this year thinking I want to live my life in abundance. And so seeing you today here carrying this juice plus water bottle. Maybe I need to talk to you about it. So just kind of being out and about. I meet a lot of people on the playground. I have a lot of people with me, so people have no problem coming up to me all the time because they see that I'm a circus, and they can relate. You know, I think I'm more approachable because I'm such a circus. So.
I think that's great.
Yeah. And we all have our own circus. We all have our own chaos. So, you know, each one of you can feel it.
Well, and I think the one thing too that I notice about you is you kind of got over if the kids are noisy or loud, we hear them in the background and you just carry on anyway, quit worrying about it, everything being so perfect. And just really, like you said, what I love what you said is that you are caring more about the people versus worrying about the chaos.
Yeah.
And
I think it's a little bit more real. I think the people that I'm talking to can see that I'm just being real, you know, and they can see these 4 guys that I've had on Juice Plus that frankly, we really don't go to the doctor, knock on wood, that often. So.
Yeah. And I think too, that as, you know, as a mom and having the 4 boys, you probably hear it more than anybody else does anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
So getting over being perfect. I think you've done such a great job with that.
You can't be, you got to let it all go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause, I know you can hear it right now. They're loud tonight.
And we can barely hear them. So
okay.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys would be willing to maybe step up with me and kind of talk to 2 new people and invite 2 people from your list. Cause we do have those regional events coming up. And I can share with you the other things that I have coming up later this month and into September too, cause you're all welcome. If you're down in South Denver.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to open it up for questions if you're up for that, Jena. And I'm going to turn the host back over to Mel as I have to go do the Freedom Revolution call. But I know people probably have lots of questions on how you fit it in with 4 crazy boys and all the chaos. And I love the pictures you shared. I thought those were awesome.
Good luck on the call.
Thank you. And thank you so much for sharing with us.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, Jena, I just want to say thank you for sharing because, you know, you said everybody has their own chaos. And just recently, of course, we moved, you know, from Boulder to my own chaos the last 2 months of moving all the way to Tahoe. And I'm totally ready for that challenge because it's like, all right, I've been meeting people and kind of getting out now, and I'm ready to really start rocking my Juice Plus business here in Tahoe. So yeah, I'm totally up for that challenge. And it's just so funny. It's different for everybody, and no matter what, you know, changes in your life and all that kind of stuff that comes along, it's like we're all, no matter how like long we've been involved with this or how good we get at it, it's still like sometimes the doubt gets in your head. And really, I think I love the way that you focus on the mission of really this isn't about us and how we feel, but how can we help others and how can we love others to get the information to have a healthier way of life like we are so grateful that somebody shared with us, and how can we be that light out in the world for other people, even amidst the chaos. And I love how relatable you are just because you're out doing your life and loving on your little people, and also, you know, have a bigger dream and a vision for yourself and your family, and you're doing it amidst all of it. So you're such an inspiration. So thank you so much for sharing today.
Likewise.
It. So yes. Does anybody have any questions for Jena?
I have found that it's easier that I'm more busy, you know, to get stuff in because you don't have as many excuses to say, oh, I'll do it later, because you don't have it later. You have like a 5 seconds while people aren't screaming or, you know, clogging the toilet like they just yelled upstairs while we were on the phone call.
I have a question for Jena.
Yeah.
So being that you're a busy mom, when are you doing your events? Are you doing them during the day? Are you doing them in the evening? Are you working mostly with moms or clientele?
I have done the last 2, like an early Sunday morning. We did like an early morning yoga at the park, and then I did a Juice Plus after. So I did 2 of those on a Sunday morning, and then one of them like 6:30 in the evening. we have been doing some like mom group type things, like 9:30 in the morning, where they all come. I hired a babysitter once. So we just did like mom and coffee. And then I had a babysitter, which was awesome because everybody wants, free childcare, a little bit of time away. So I just, stuck everybody in the basement, and then, we had some time. It wasn't a lot, but we had some time to talk to ourselves. So like early in the morning has been working for the group of people that I'm talking to. And then, later in the evenings.
And then how are you doing your inviting? Are you like, what are you leading with? Are you leading with like the health talk and, oh, we're going to do yoga too? Or like, how is it that you're physically doing the invites?
I think it varies depending on the person. So I'm just looking at my list, and then I'm thinking like, okay, this person I know is a health nut. And so I'll say like, I know, you're super into exercise. I know you're really into yoga. Why don't you join me for this? I have some tips and tricks I'm also going to share to help you keep your family as healthy as possible. You're going to want to hear this information. And so I think I'm just looking at each person individually, because I know, I might have like a little snippet here or there that I know about them. Like whether, it's they have a big family and they have a lot of kids that they are trying to keep healthy, or they're actually just looking to learn some tools. So I might lead with that if they're looking for some easy tools. I'd like to do like a back to school lunch type thing to just get some recipes. So something like that.
Okay.
That's a good question. Yeah, I'm just looking at each person individually. And I have found, and Reagan's told us over and over and over 1,000 times, that calling them works so much easier than texting them. Yes, I have some friends that like will only respond to me over text, but I will get, more yeses if I pick up the phone.
Right. Like you just call them and just be like, this is why I'm calling you. I'm calling to invite you because I'm having this event and I thought of you because
exactly
XYZ. Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
And Jena, to go on with that, when you're inviting them and you say I have some tips and tricks that I'm going to share with you too about staying healthier, you don't bring up Juice Plus at that point, and that's not a problem?
So I've been using, the Healthy Living Revolution in that that area where they have the resources for us. They have those pre-made, images. So they'll have the Juice Plus logo on the bottom. So, I won't necessarily be like, oh, it's Juice Plus, but I will just say I have some tips and tricks, nutrition, whole food based. But they're seeing that logo on there, so I think if they're looking at the image, I'm also sending to them.
Oh, okay. So you send that usually after you've done the invite?
Yeah.
On the phone?
Yeah. So when I'm inviting them, I'm not saying like it's a Juice Plus event per se.
Do you ever get anybody back at you and be like, do you ever feel like people are offended by that, or?
Nobody has been. No, because I think if you're sharing the Healthy Living Revolution presentation, there's a lot of info in there that they can just take away for themselves, and so at the end of it, if you're just offering Juice Plus as a tool, this is what my family use. I've done so much research, and this is the one thing that I found that actually works because I know the research behind it. I know it's working in our bodies.
So you're using the presentation at your events?
Yeah. So if it's just like a small group and it's just casual, I'll pull it out and just kind of have it on hand. But it's more of just a conversation. But I will follow the guidelines of topics to talk about.
Okay.
That way I don't forget to touch on the shred, one simple change, and the programs behind it.
Okay.
Because if I don't have it in front of me, I'll forget to mention the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let somebody else ask a question. Thank you.
Sure thing.
Okay, well, if we don't have any more questions, I do know that we have a few exciting wins and wows for the week. Jamie, do you want to share what's happening on your team real quick?
Yes, I will. Paige jumped off, but
Did she jump off? Oh, bummer. Okay.
Yeah, Paige got her HLP last week, and so that's really exciting. And her upline, Megan, who is a nutritionist here in Beaverton, I just submitted her 2000 plus on Friday. So their team is just rocking and it's super exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Great job, Jamie. That's so fun for your team. I know your team's growing and it's super fun for you to work with some people that are in Portland with you. So that's awesome.
It's great. Yeah, it's really fun.
And speaking of the chaos, this is perfect. Jamie, amidst her chaos is everybody, you guys know that she's got twins and a third as well, but she's also moving, this weekend?
Yep, on Saturday.
Yeah, so if there weren't any more excuses to be had, these two ladies here, Jena and Jamie, kind of have it all. So it does work to the busier you are, the better your biz can be. So great job, you guys. And then I wish Vicki was on here too. She has two, Gary, who's on here. Hey, Gary. Let's see if you can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hey, there you are. Awesome. Well, I want to just congratulate you in front of the group. I know we talked today, but congratulations on hitting your HLP as well.
Thank you very much.
And y'all are just right on your way to your 2000 plus. So keep on going, and you're just going to help so many people get healthy and inspire so many people to live a healthier way of life. So great job. We're excited for you.
Thank you. And, I'm right with you guys with a new location and new environment and new circles. It's kind of hard to get out there and go, but it's starting to come together. It's great.
Well, great job. We're proud of you. So,
all right. Thanks.
Awesome. Anybody else have any wins that they want to share?
Yeah, Janessa and I just had an HLP on our team too. I know Janessa's on the call, but her sister-in-law, Mindy Lowry, just hit it. And she just restarted, so that's awesome. So moving on to her 2000 plus too.
That's fantastic. Well, we'll be cheering on for that 2000 plus. That's great.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Awesome. Well, next week we're going to be talking about events and the power of events, and I'll be leading that call. Reagan and Ellen are both out of town, so love for you all to join us for that, even though they're not here. And if anybody, I would love for it to be a conversation, so some of you people that have been here a while, if you would be willing to share how events have really propelled your business forward, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, or just be willing and ready to speak up. I think that would be great. Just have a conversation about how those work and how they really propel our businesses forward. So I think that's it. It's 6 o'clock on the dot. Anybody else have anything they want to share? Otherwise, we'll be off making our lists and doing our reaching out to 2 people a day. Sound good? All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. I don't know how to say
Good job. Thank you.
Recording. All right. See y'all later.
you.
Have a great week.
Thank you.
Hey, Mel.
Yep.
How do we get on the HLR? Is it the same as all of them?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so wait, do you want me to tell you what the ID is?
Yeah,
Hold on. Oops, I would have to quit this.
that's all right.
Yeah, I can't see it from
Okay.
here. Sorry.
No worries.
All right.
Thanks.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.